A very good afternoon to you wherever you are watching us from. It's a wet Thursday here. I'm suspecting it is the same wherever you are. And if it is not, well, friends and family are in different places will tell you exactly what the weather is looking like. The political weather here in Nigeria is not looking too different because many things are happening at the same time. From one breaking story to the other. My colleagues here in the studio that are writers, of course they write here for our organization, I've been writing one various breaking story to the other. I'm sure Ahmed Fateh is writing one breaking story. Femi Morgan is working on something on the editorial for something breaking. And it's a new dawn. Well, it looks like it in Nigeria. My name is Shegun Odwanya. Welcome to the Roundtable. Together with me here in the studio, I have Femi Morgan and Ahmed Fateh. Together, we'll be doing justice to the various topics that are eating up in the polity. Like I said, together we'll be dissecting the issues that are happening in the polity. The political atmosphere is quite warm and interesting. And the weather is quite cold. But I can't say same for the political weather. What can you say about the issues at ground? I think we should just start from the appointments of the latest appointment of the president just this afternoon. Essay on this, essay on that. Of course, the familiar names. Dele Alake is the essay on communications. Mrs. Olu Vejen, if I get that name correctly, is on energy. Nuri Badu, security. I mean, let's start from the appointment.
Those are familiar names, especially Dele Alake and...
he has been speaking for the presidency
even
before a position.
Then Nuri Badu, you should expect that because Nuri Badu has always followed up with the president for a long time.
But I think many persons expected
and he was the presidential candidate in 2019 or so.
No, he was the presidential candidate of the AC.
Of the AC in 2007. Sorry about that. So for me, the partnership between Tinubu and Ribadu in the ACN is not new. And when you see Tinubu during the campaigns, especially in the north, you would always find Ribadu looking around.
That was 2011 actually, not 2011.
Was it 2011?
2007 AC had Atiku Abubakar. He was living as vice president. He got the ticket of the AC. In 2011, it was 2011
when Jonathan was president. So, but during the campaigns, you always find Ribadu looking around Tinubu, especially in the northern region. And so, so he's one of those familiar names that you would expect would get something, especially given the fact that he has been out of government for a while, out of relevance, lost his governorship bid to the lady Mama Adamawa. Senator, so for him it's reward time, you know. So for Dele Alake, we already know who Dele Alake is. Dele Alake has always been in the communication machine of the president, and even before now. So we saw how he drove communication during the elections. We saw how he marshaled points against the Labour Party, against the PDP, and so we should expect interesting. But we should expect interesting rhetoric, you know.
Very, very quickly now, Ahmed Fateh. Let's talk about the barrage of suspensions. It looks like you go into Aso Rock, have a meeting, suspended. Have a meeting, suspended. The man from the CBN, former CBN governor, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, was having a meeting in the Aso Rock for a while, and people were thinking, is he going to be part of the inner chamber? Before we could say Jacob Brinson, suspended. The head of the EFCC yesterday was in the villa for a meeting, and just like that, suspended. What can we say about this suspension? Deserved? Political witch hunting?
Well, for me, the suspension of Mr. Godwin Emefiele, I would say emphatically that it was a well-deserved suspension. But that of Abdulrasheed Bawa was what I found a bit conflicting as at yesterday, until today when I started reading some subsequent news where they were saying the man manipulated about thousands of dollars to lodge his family and all of those things. I don't know how confirmed those allegations are. But then, if we look at the suspension of Godwin Emefiele, we would realize that the hardship that the man brought onto Nigeria. I mean, we've had several CBN governors in the past. The tenure or the term of Emefiele had Nigeria witnessed 2 different recessions. I mean, this is someone who is meant to be at the helm of affairs. The man who is meant to ensure that he works with the presidency, the federal government, to ensure that our economy is on a good ride. To ensure that our Naira is strong. We had about the Naira increasing from, during his own tenure, from about 800 to about 700 or something on the black market. That is outrageous. It is questionable on all fronts. We have to emphasize on the fact that this is not something that is good for our economy. Now, aside from that, you now brought a policy, a debt policy that killed numbers of Nigerians. That is with the cash scarcity. We had people who died because of that stringent policy of Naira redesign.
Do you know of any?
Yeah, personally, I don't know anybody who died, but of course we read the news. But personally, I had people who suffered because of the lack of cash at the time.
I did.
I mean, I had to withdraw about 500,000 or thereabouts with about 90,000 naira. Personally, that is too harsh. Because of the fact that I needed, liquid to be able to. So
you don't think his point of wanting to starve politicians of cash during that period was worth?
No. I believe that if that policy was to be a policy that was meant for the development of Nigeria, that was meant to tackle money laundering and all of those things, it could have come at a better time rather than the time it came. Yeah, I would believe what he did was a political witch hunt against some set of people.
You believe that?
Yeah, I strongly believe that.
Very quickly, let me move over to Femi Morgan. Over in the last few days, we've been seeing a lot of Emefiele this, Emefiele that.
Yeah.
But Emefiele was not the president of Nigeria. He had a boss. Everything he was doing was going through his boss. There was never a time we had the president say, oh, Emefiele was working on his own, or he's not doing as I'm directing. Why are we talking about Emefiele and ignoring the fact that he was working fantastically well under his boss? At least we never heard of any outburst. Why are we blaming Emefiele?
We are blaming Emefiele because there's a CBN Act that says that the CBN is independent of influence.
No doubt about that. However,
that's why we are blaming Emefiele. We are blaming Emefiele because we know that monetary policy and monetary direction is not the strength of Buhari.
But if the president was not in love with his system of approach, it was Buhari's government.
Yes.
Why is there so much noise from
I will get to that. Of course, the failure of Buhari is clear. Buhari seemed not to have a grasp on issues. And if you don't have a grasp on issues, you should have advisors. The finance minister is there, other economic advisors, the economic team, the economic council under the vice president is at your behest. You can call all those people and say, this policy, this is our direction. What do we do?
Exactly.
Do we have enough? Do we have enough naira in circulation? The new naira. What are the people saying? You have all at your disposal as president. So the buck should not leave the decks of the president. But at the same time, you have a CBN governor who knew or knows all the economic dynamics and understands how all of this will play out in both the local market and at the stock exchange. So you expect him to come on board and give us the best economic direction for our foreign exchange and for the local market.
Yeah.
So Emefiele failed at that.
Was he not trying to make things work?
I don't think so, because
remember that when the Buhari government came on board earlier, they removed subsidy at some point.
yes,
I mean, I'm just coming to that. But talking about the central bank, there was devaluation of the naira under Godwin Emefiele.
yes.
At some point in the Buhari administration. So I don't think it all started badly. But what went wrong?
What went wrong was that Emefiele began to see himself as someone who could just take arbitrary decisions, and he also involved himself with politics.
That was,
So-
was
so-
that confirmed?
So, no?
The fact that he got involved in politics.
Yeah, he got himself involved in politics. That was clear. And so you could not differentiate between
The CBN.
the CBN governor as as an entity that was independent and was clearly giving the country a direction, and the direction that the CBN governor was given, whether it had political undertones or not. And then you had this farmers' loan that he had just given out that continues to become a problem. Recently, the World Bank said that about more than 70% of that loan has not been refunded. So you give out loan to rice farmers, and rice farmers sponsor your presidential ambition. That is clearly contrarian,
I'll move over to
clearly
Ahmed.
problematic.
Ahmed, how sure are we that this is not just politics? You know, a new government goes out, a new man comes in, the men working with the old man will most likely leave, the new man. You know, how sure are we that this is not just trying to hang an individual, pin something down his neck? I mean, if President Buhari was still in charge till date, former President Buhari is still the president today, Emefiele will still be there. We will not be seeing. They will not be having. It won't be having bad press in quotes now. Many people will still be seeing him as CBN governor. But is it because politics came into play somewhere? Do you think that is why he's going through persecution in quotes, according to some sources or some quarters?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's persecution of someone as Emefiele. You know, not because of my own personal experiences or personal experiences of people that are around me who suffered some of the stringent policies caused by his administration. But I strongly believe that we all agree here that Buhari is a failure. The 8 years Buhari spent as the president of this country is a failure.
Yes.
Totally.
A total failure.
Total.
Infrastructure.
No.
Economy.
We can't say that. What's it called? There are some sectors of the economy that he did well. Infrastructure.
So he's not a total failure.
Well, if you come from that angle, but he was a major failure. Let us put it at that. You know, of course, infrastructure he did quite well.
Did quite well.
You know,
Debt.
Yeah. I mean, look at the mess we are in terms of debt. I mean, we couldn't even have the money to finance the subsidy for this month that we have. That was meant to be the last subsidy to be paid by its administration.
The new government decided to pull
out
on the guys.
You understand? So this is not an issue of when Buhari is still there, Buhari will still live. Buhari is a failure, so Buhari probably would not be able to see clearly that this man is doing something wrong. Because already he's a failure.
Right,
so this is someone coming in afresh, someone with what's it called, a different perspective. I feel like the difference between them is the fact that the President Tinubu is a grand politician, while Buhari is a military man.
I think I'll just move over very quickly. Let's talk about Abdulrasheed Bawa.
Yeah.
Young man, 2021, came on board. Everybody likes the fact that this is a young man. I mean, vibrant. You know, when people are tired of old people and he was a young guy. And everybody just thought, perhaps this is the change we need in EFCC.
Yeah.
Bringing us back to the days of Nuhu Ribadu in power, in charge. And then it looked like politicians were not being thrown into jail. EFCC lawyers were necessarily not winning cases. It looked more like they would go and score own goals in court.
Yeah.
Just allow matters be lost.
Yeah.
It looked more like they were interested in, all these fraudsters, known in local parlance as Yahoo boys. The major thieves in quotes now were not chased, and people are wondering what is wrong with Bawa. A meeting with the president, fiam,
Suspension.
What can we say about his reign?
What I would just say is that EFCC's all of throughout since it was set up has performed according to the body language of the man that puts them there. That's the first thing we need to note. The second thing we need to note is that Nigeria has an institutional crisis. We don't strengthen the institution. We strengthen the man. So the man is likely to get into trouble and become corrupt because the institutions are weak. They are always weak. The president, we don't know who the president is bringing on board, but there are no guarantees that the man who is coming on board is another saint or will not kowtow to the whims and caprices of the president. You know, so if we want to heap the blame on Bawa, we need to ask ourselves fundamental questions. If Mr. Bawa takes certain actions, does he get presidential orders from above? Leave this politician. He's in the APC. Leave that one. He's our man. This man has stepped down for this man in the Senate. So therefore, leave him. You know, remember,
is our opponent. Chase him.
Remember that Oshomole, when he was campaigning for Buhari in 2019, he said that certain people should come under the umbrella and their sins will be forgiven. So those body languages show that any man who becomes EFCC chairman is just going to be another pawn in the hands of the power brokers. Does Bawa have his own blame? Yes, he does. Contempt of courts, disobedience of the rule of law. No matter how strong you are,
listen.
The law was set. The law set the EFCC
sorry
up.
For cutting you,
Please give me like 5 minutes.
Body language was probably being followed.
Yes,
it was probably also following the president's body language in that aspect.
That's the problem. But let's face it. The law set up the EFCC, and if the law set up the EFCC, then the EFCC would be sabotaging the law that set it up by not obeying the law. So if the law says there's an injunction to not persecute this person, appeal the injunction immediately. Don't go ahead to arrest and harass and make everything look problematic, and then you get to court, the judge is angry, you know, and you lose the case. If you want a well-arranged case, follow the case up to the extent at which you know that you have full evidence and full backings before you go to court and mess it up. So Bawa has his limitations by messing court cases up and by disobeying court injunctions. That is a major problem. So for me, I personally felt that Bawa should have been left alone.
Interesting analysis from my guys here in the studio. We are not going anywhere. We'll just switch topics this time around. I think we should move on to the signings. I mean, somebody said it's President Tinubu on the sign-a-thon. It looks like he's chasing something. Some other person said, leave him. The other president that was there was not talking to us. Let's not say this one is talking too much. Let's talk about the signings. Some of the most recent one, the electricity bill, the data protection bill,
the judicial extension.
Exactly. I think I should just very quickly let's start with the data protection bill.
Yeah, well,
it has been in the pipeline for a while now, but it's coming on board. How do you think it will be good? Of course, 500,000 jobs are being said that it will protect, it will get. I mean, let's just analyze it.
We've gotten to an age whereby the data of humans are very important. And the abuse of data, especially in a country like Nigeria, is on the high side. When people go on the internet, you see them talking about them being messaged, what's it called?
By loan,
plan pay. This one would mention this thing, this one would say this pay, and all of those things. It is because some people have abused the access to the data of such person. That is why they have been able to go after them that way. But now with the signing of a bill that protects the data of a human person, then I can be able to go as a man and say that, hey, you have abused my listen, then let's go to court and go and explain to the court why you did what you've done. Then we'll be able to also have companies and organizations who just indiscriminately sell out people's data to marketing companies, to institutes. I mean, I got a mail a few days ago, right, for a fellowship I didn't even apply for, stated that I should come and pay a certain amount of money
for a fellowship
to get the fellowship, get the certification and all of those things. Now, I did not even apply for the fellowship. I did not even know about the fellowship in my life. But right there, somewhere there, an amount of money in hundreds of thousands were stated that I have to pay to be able to get certification and all of those things.
I think we should move on to another view here.
That's a problem.
Obviously. You know, interestingly, many persons did not understand
yes,
what it meant. Somebody was asking what network mean. Just
I mean, a lot of people need to start getting to open their minds more to a lot of things rather than trying to just look at it from the shallow end. And also, moving on to the electricity bill.
I think I should give that to Femi.
Femi,
right. Electricity bill. Already, Osun State is already taking it up.
Yeah.
Earlier, before then, we had just 3 states in Nigeria that had that. Of course, Lagos, Rivers, and what was the other state? I think it's Edo or one other state, 3 states. Edo. But now, I think it's Edo. Now, Osun is bringing it on board. If Osun does that, Ondo, their neighbor can say, or their neighbor can say, what is going on, Governor Sheyi Makinde? Do this for us. You know, prosperity will keep spreading. Great things will keep spreading. Your analysis, your opinion, your thoughts.
Electricity bill is wonderful, and we look forward to the states jumping on, like they say, jumping on the electricity bill, the freedom that affords them. You know, moving, it moves it far away from that rigid federal
system.
You know, I can't call it a federal system because we run a false federal system in Nigeria. You know, but at least we have rescued the electricity. We have rescued electricity from that rigid unitary system that we have in Nigeria. So I think that the bill is brilliant. We must give some kudos to the National Assembly.
Exactly.
Because what our president is just doing is
it's
just fast forward. It's just you know, certain bills that are pending. He's just taking them out. You know, and I'm hoping that certain things are also looked at properly before they are taken. I remember the pensions bill has turned to a problem.
Serious one now.
You know, but our ex-president Buhari hurriedly signed that bill, allowing the Nigerian police to have access to their own pension without looking at the history of the Nigerian police and how they have wasted pensions for many years from the government, you know. True. And knowing full well that the government does not even have enough money to give
out
full pension that is not contributory. So President Tinubu needs to learn lessons. Yes, he needs to learn lessons, and he also needs to consult. Thank God Bajami Amila is by his side. He needs to he needs to consult these people who have experience and who can see the loopholes, the fine lines. There are certain fine lines that we need to see. The data protection bill. Are we sure that our own data will not be sabotaged by the government itself? You know, because the biggest intruder of data is the government. The government sent me a text on inauguration day saying that let's have peace. What's my business with that?
No. I think you know one of the duties of the government was that.
Yes, I agree, but it means that the federal government has my data.
Of course, they do. You're in Nigeria.
You know, the federal government has my data. The federal government, when I have rights and I want to access certain things from the federal government, they don't have my data then. You know, that's but when they want to send me message,
no.
You understand what I mean? But when they want to send me message, when they want to send, so if you have my data, then it should not be difficult for me to get my national passport and other things that I need to get.
Is it difficult?
You know, it should be seamless.
Okay.
You know, but when you want to send me a pro-government message, you can easily reach me. But when you want to give me, the dividend of democracy, the true dividend, when you want to give me the true dividend of democracy, my data is nowhere to be found. You don't know where I live. But when you want to pass your own message to me, you have my phone number.
The phone number and the right.
If you are just joining us, it's still the Roundtable. My name is Sheikh Nodon. I have not changed my name. I won't change it for anything in the world. I have two fantastic guys here with me in the studio, two brilliant persons. And together we have been dissecting the issues eating up the polity, and the day-by-day analysis of what has been going on so far in Nigeria. Of course, if you do not know, for people who are not Nigerians or people who are not really interested in the issues of Nigeria who are watching, because of course this is a global stage that we are on right now. The Nigerian government, the Nigerian people recently had a new president. A new man is leading the ends of affairs of the largest, most populated black nation on earth, Niger area, whatever you want to call it. And in the last 2 weeks plus now, the new man has been putting in place new issues. The new executive equally recently had a new leadership that also went through as regards the new legislature. Very quickly, Senate, House of Reps. I'll start with you, Femi, on the House of Reps. The Green Chamber. The results 359 to 3 and 3. Sorry, that's the 359. 359 minus 6. Yeah. Because in total, 360 members of the House of Representatives, one of them died. Before the inauguration. Yeah. So 359. And of that number, just remove 6. That is 353 votes for Honorable Tajuddin Abbas of Desire constituency. Kaduna is now the Speaker of the House of Representatives. And the House of Representatives, yes. How did that happen? People knew it was going to be an easy run in the end, but nobody knew that it was going to be something like what we saw. Hats were with somebody else, mouths were with somebody else. Just what happened?
The open ballot system.
You think that was what influenced that number?
The open ballot system constrained politicians to go to the back and renegotiate with other party members who were contesting.
I doubt they knew that was the system that was used until the morning of the election.
No, there was a 1999 change of orders in the representative, in the House of Representatives, that changed it from secret ballots to open ballots. 1999.
And it has been like that
standing
from
rules.
Today?
Standing rules. The standing rules was changed. You know, and so it was clear.
Because according to reports, many persons were not sure that was going to happen this time.
But they used those standing rules. They changed those standing rules. I remember Undume was talking on channels recently, and he said that sometimes when the critical members of the House are not around, some people quickly pushing certain things that are unpalatable.
Look at the way the standing rules helped Saraki in 2015.
You know,
in 2015,
the standing rules was what,
you know, so it could have been that, you know, some people missed out on their attendance and they found out that certain things had changed, you know, before.
But are you saying what helped Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, now Speaker Abbas, was the fact that it was a voice voting system?
Apart from the voice voting system, the influence of the governors is very strong in the House of Reps.
Not on the senators?
The senators have more grounding. A governor can't sort of bully someone like an Ekweremadu, because Ekweremadu, you know, you can't bully ex-governors who are now in the Senate. You can't bully people who are almost to
bullying someone like Oshiomhole.
You know, someone who's been governor before, who's been minister before, who's been in politics before you were born, probably, you know. But in the House of Reps,
your governors,
there are much younger people who are still trying to see what their political future, carries or is. So the governors had quite some influence, especially in the Southwest. For governors who went for the, is it Yari?
Yeah.
For governors who went for For governors
No,
who
that
went
was the
for
Senate.
no, for
The
governors who
Federal
went
House of
for the other person,
Okay, Wase.
Wase.
Yeah.
Wase used to be deputy,
Yeah.
and over the time he has grown some
He was expecting
following.
it to be served on it on the table for
He has
him.
grown some following and all of that. But at the tail end, he had a clash with Gbajabiamila.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that was not good for him because Gbajabiamila's loyalty to the Southwest and the Southwest loyalty to Gbajabiamila in the House was clear. You know, so he tried as much as possible to earn some votes from the North.
350 plus to 3. That
It
did
was,
not look like
no,
a battle.
it was a clear win. It was a clear win because of voice voting. It was a clear win because the governors had influence. It was a clear win because certain people stepped down. And the stepping down sort of was a wrecking ball, even in the Senate.
Stepped down. Okay, Dogun was stepped down. Adu Dogun was stepped down.
Was a wreck.
Was staying in. Jaji was staying in it. It was supposed. I mean, some persons even predicted that it was probably going to be tougher than the Senate at some point. No. I want you to handle the red chamber. So I want Femi to be done completely with the green chamber. So why was it such? It was more like a naming. It was more like it's a party for Tajuddin Abbas from the very beginning. From the very beginning.
Let's not forget that the presidency also had an influence in the House.
But the same happened in the Senate, and it was a fight to finish.
The Senate is a different ballgame. The Senate is like, there are junior gladiators and there are senior gladiators, and the senior gladiators know how it's more hefty. It's more hefty in the Senate. In the House, your governor says this is the way to go, and the president of Nigeria says this is the way to go, and then you, representing Alimosho, just one small part in Alimosho, you know, with small 3 divisions. You are now saying that no, I'm not going that way. I wish you best of luck.
You come back in 4 years. All right, let's go to the red chamber now. 46 votes for Abdulaziz Yari. 63 votes for Godswill Akpabio. The APC announced that their candidate. Was Godswill Akpabio. Yari said he was contesting regardless. What happened? 109 senators.
Well, you see, to start with, I would say that we are witnessing a political power play and a political masterstroke in the politics of Nigeria today. When the party, All Progressive Congress, came out to say that this is our candidate, it is quite expected that every other senators from the party would follow the party's candidate. However, in the case of Yari, I was expecting that Yari would have played a Saraki on Tinubu.
How?
Like Saraki played on Buhari in 2015.
How would you have?
Yes, I was. No, I wouldn't advise that. I was expecting him to play something quite similar.
What exactly were you expecting?
Of course. Do their, what is it called? They are conniving together and...
But they did.
No. They didn't get the number of what Saraki pulled in 2015.
But that was because of things that happened at that time. There was this, they just worked mainly on the standing house rules. That's what I'm saying. Were holding somewhere, and the rumor of sleeping in the...
Yari could easily do the same thing this year.
Yeah, because the Senate was secret ballot.
Yes, the Senate was secret ballot.
The House was open ballot.
He could easily do that too, right? But he didn't do that, or that was not able to happen for him because the president, or let me say the APC, were actively involved to ensure that they get it right. Now, let me put this to you. We have a president who is a Muslim, a vice president who is a Muslim. Already, the Muslim ticket of APC is causing a major problem in the country. That is, it's causing a big division already.
Yeah.
A lot of people in the Southeast, a lot of Christians are against it. Even in the North, Northerners who are Christians
So you are saying that should have been corrected in the Senate?
are against it. Now, we will now have Yari to be a Muslim, a Senate president.
But I thought some people are saying competence was the watchword, not necessarily religion.
You see, Nigeria is a country with a multi-ethnic, setting. And in a ethnic and multi-religious setting, you can't expect a religion to take all, the first, second, and third biggest positions in the country. People who are the this and that of the country are from a religion.
I think I should
Now,
trade to Femi now. Then I'll bring you.
I would like
I'm
to...
coming.
Okay.
If we have a case where someone like Yari becomes the Senate president of Nigeria, I would not say that Nigeria would turn into a turmoil, but I can say emphatically that it set a precedent to break Nigeria into pieces.
But let me quickly move over to Femi before I come back to you. Amid is talking about the fact that religion, right? The APC during the elections campaign on competence. Look away from the religious angle. Look at competence. Now, why was competence not being talked about in the Senate? And then let's talk about, I'm interested in Abdulaziz Yari, a man who had never been senator before. He was only a member of the House of Representatives.
Yeah.
He was going against his party. Many persons felt he was just trying to, run, and he was not serious. But it was a run he gave Akpabio a run for his money. Look at Akpabio talking yesterday about the fact that he did not have a prepared speech because he did not know where the outcome was going to, where the penny was going to swing, because he was contending against the almighty Yari. Now, look at that. 46 votes, a lot of persons where the counting was going on, Yari. Looking at the way the election was going, everybody in the house was looking, and you could see the governors upstairs speaking to each other. That was quite scary for the APC and for the president. But let's talk about Abdulaziz Yari now. What can you say about that guts?
First, I would like to say that political intelligence during the Tinubu era will be very high, and it's already playing out. I would like to throw some spanner in the works by saying that the APC is speaking from two ends of their mouths. During the presidential campaign, they said that it didn't matter whether it was Muslim or whatever. And now you move into the Senate and the House, you begin to throw another set of rhetoric. That is dangerous for those who remember history. Unfortunately for us, we are not so much people of
history students.
Memory. We are not, our memory does play some tricks on us, So and to extend that spanner is to say that why aren't we giving the Igbos their pride of place in the Senate and in the House? Why did we put them as number 6 or number 7 deputy speaker? The Igbos need to be given a pride of place in Nigerian politics because they are very influential in our economy, in our governance, in our culture, in our lifestyle. And to put them as number 6 is to disenfranchise them the way Buhari disenfranchised.
Do you think they put them, or the politics just
at this time in the Nigerian political life, we expect better from a Tinubu.
So are you blaming the APC as a party, or Tinubu?
The presidency had undue influence in this Senate, and we want to see how that will play out when it begins to raise laws.
Now the big question is, looking at the norm, the political history, just talking about history a few moments ago, don't you think that there was nothing this current president did that had not been the norm? President influencing will become Senate president, trying to put his people in charge. Was it different from anything in the past?
It was not different. But let's look at it. From Obasanjo had undue, in fact, he had brutal influence in the Senate.
Yeah.
He removed
Okadigbo,
removed.
Yeah.
He was very brutal.
Yeah.
In fact,
brutal, crazily brutal.
Yes.
Let me move over to Amid now. Amid, for you, I'll move away from the Senate, talking about Tajuddin Abbas, and a little bit on the soft side now. Did you see his 2 wives come on stage? The controversy. Did you see that clip?
Yeah, I saw the clip.
On the day your husband is, number 4 man in the country, probably his biggest political achievement ever, and was that necessary? Away from politics a little.
Well, I would say that it's a shameful act
On whose part?
on the national TV for that to have happened. Now,
put fault on anybody?
Maybe I
Yes.
will forgive you
Who?
for this.
it will be to Yari himself.
No. I was talking about what happened in the House of Representatives.
Oh, sorry, it will be to TJ Abbas himself.
Okay.
I took
Yeah, I get.
Yeah, we're getting used
the
to
blame
this.
would be to Abbas.
For
Because as a Muslim myself, and as a Muslim himself, a man in the house is expected to be the Amir,
okay.
which is the leader of the house. And being the leader of the house, you have to have set it right.
What if he set it right and it just did not happen right? You know, circumstances, situations.
Then that would be we go into the side of women then, because it means that he has set it right by saying that okay, the person behind him was meant to be the person behind him. But we can't say exactly that this is what really happened. It might have been the fact that maybe the other person came late and she was meant to be the person on stage. And probably because of her absence, they said, okay, let the other person stay there till she gets there. It could have been a lot of things.
Talking about the politics now, it was quite easy, very easy. It's straight in the park actually. Easy is too soft to use for Tajuddin Abbas. Who made it happen that way and why?
Well, I would say that, like Morgan said a few moments ago, that this current government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu would show us that, or what they've done in the last few days that they got into power, that they are playing political masterstroke.
Yeah.
They are showing us that we are grounded politicians. This is what we do, and we want to show you how it is done. Do you understand? For you to have representatives from parties like Labour Party, especially, come out to say that we are voting Tajuddin Abbas. We have a lot to tell you about the politicking that had gone under for the election of the Speaker of the House of Representatives.
So why the same not happen in the Senate?
I would say that the same did not happen in the Senate because it's just like when a PDP had their convention last year that brought about Atiku Abubakar as the presidential candidate of. We had Wike, and Wike matched Atiku, who is by far in terms of political experience, is by far to Wike.
So are you trying to use that narrative on this one?
Yes. Okay. It's almost comparable.
Okay.
Do you understand? It's almost comparable. So Yari is someone who probably has feel like we must not always follow what the president is saying. Because in the first place, there are a lot of rumors that even Tinubu was not Buhari's candidate.
So he's probably trying to
replicate whatever Tinubu did to become the president. Presidential candidate of APC. That, maybe I could pull a political gimmicks myself and become the Senate president. But at the same time, you have to realize that for Tinubu, like I've already watched of Alim Dume when he came on channels a few days ago to say that the president sneaked out of the what's it called? The it's not in the villa yet. I'm not sure it's in the villa yet. It's like
they say it's reports. I mean, various reports though. Defense house,
exactly.
Some say
he sneaked out from the defense house to meet with some senators personally, made personal calls to some people that this is the direction we are going to.
Yeah.
That tells us that a lot of politicking went behind the camera to bring about TJ Abbas as the Speaker and Akpabio as the Senate President. And I think that we have a long way of politicking to go in the next 4 years, and
all right,
it's going to be interesting.
All right, it's really hot here in the studio regardless of what's happening outside. I mean, what have we not touched? We've talked about the appointments, the recent appointment of the president just this afternoon. Essays on communication, Dele Alake, essay on energy, Olu version, Dutch name, so I probably may not get it well.
No Ribadu,
essay security. And I think there's remaining one last name. It's about 4 names, or is that all?
This is Zacchaeus, man.
Yes, Zacchaeus. X is from Oyo State.
Yeah, it's from Obomosho, precisely.
Yeah. Also, becoming an essay. Also talk about the politics that happened in the Green Chamber, the Red Chamber. Talking about the sign-a-thon in quote now going on, or the president sign-a-thon has been signing this and signing that. Now let's talk about his policies. Chief of that for me was what went down yesterday. Floating of the naira. Nobody, I won't say nobody saw that coming. Before Tinubu came on board, many persons were used to the old approach. For May students, people that pay school fees abroad, of course, if you are in some of their groups, you will see the way many of them have been angry since yesterday. But let's talk about economic advantages of that new policy. Way to go, Femi Morgan.
The question I ask when people say that this economic policy is good is, do we have enough productivity to match it?
Same question someone asked this morning.
Do we have enough productivity to match it? If we have enough productivity to match it, the naira will compete favorably with the dollar. In due course, we'll be able to say the naira is strong. Do we have enough manufacturing companies that are thriving? Do we export? How much do we export? But for now, we are an import country.
But I think the new government is trying to curb that importation level as well. Okay, I mean, maybe still talking policies, we'll move over to what is happening in the oil sector. But let's still stay with the CBN. I just quickly had to talk about that because of where you started from. I mean, the fact that we are not exporting that much. But the bad sides and the good sides of this policy, very quickly.
The good side is that the naira will become a competitive currency, and it will no longer be imprisoned by the BDCs, and it is an attempt to sort of standardize the naira, free up the naira.
Market forces take play.
Market forces take play, and that is good. That is good. But what is bad is the angle of the productivity. If we cannot produce to export, the naira will suffer, and all of us will suffer for it.
Very quickly, Ahmed. Somebody called me this morning, was in the bank, and he said he was told that the so amount of dollars you want to collect, we don't have it in the banks. We will call our these guys, BDC guys outside for you. You negotiate with him. Now, don't you think this policy will be totally and completely useless when FX, when monies, dollars cannot be found in the bank? The banks do not have this cash.
I think the president, at this point in time, should work together with the CBN, the presidency now, to work together with the CBN, create a sort of a monitoring committee or a sort of a pull-out of the government whereby people can report this kind of incident. It is almost impossible for you to go to a bank and not find dollars or pounds or these currencies,
foreign currencies,
that we are looking for. It's almost impossible. Now this tells us that even the problems that we are having might not even be from the people we are pointing fingers at.
So how do we curb it?
Yes. So it's a joint, it's going to be a joint effort for us to be able to tackle such problem. If we are really big on ensuring that these problems are resolved, you and me and Morgan and every other person has to take responsibility by ensuring that when we smell, then CBN should ensure that they give regulations that imposes a huge fine on banks that are caught wanting. If a branch, just a branch of your bank is caught wanting, give them like about $300,000 fine. Let them okay, you are the ones, you want to make profit, right? You want to go out there, you want to give dollars in bulk to BDCs and let them sell to people, no problem. Then let us give you a huge fine that would be about 5 or 10 times more than whatever profits you're going to get from what you do, from what you did rather. So these are things that could be put in place, because we have to be to be sincere with ourselves that from the start, the idea of floating the naira is to ensure that we trade the naira in the same market. Let everybody have easy access to the naira. What we've had in the past were privileged people having more access to the dollars than some people, which is a big problem. We have some people who would get into the bank and be able to get dollar for as low as 400 and something naira. While some people would have to reach out to BDCs and get it for 600, 700 naira. Even to the dollar was 755 naira to be able to get a dollar. And these are people who are students. These are people who need this dollar for something important for themselves.
For transactions.
For transactions.
Businessmen and women.
But the who and who in the society would go to the central bank directly or go to some top banks directly and tell them, manager, let us strike a deal. I need about $500,000. Give me and also they are able to do arbitrage. They're able to do arbitrage. Someone who has about 450 million on his own personal account would take to the bank, get about $100,000. Then go to
even round tripping as well.
That is arbitrage.
Round tripping. What goes out it's
arbitrage.
You make millions on your bed, you know.
Exactly.
Like
it's arbitrage. Then you go to the BDCs, then give them that $100,000 and sell for them by about 600 naira per dollar.
And then you go. You don't even go.
Then you go home with.
When you go happy.
About 650 million because just movement you've made 200 million in profit. It is detrimental to the economy of Nigeria, and the policy of floating the naira is a fantastic step in the right direction. However, we must have stringent policies put in place. We must have heavy fines put in place to ensure that banks who are found culpable of boycotting this policy is punished heavily. If they are not punished heavily, then they would not be able to understand the problems they are causing us in the country. Because these are people who are making people out there suffer. And if they don't suffer the consequences of their own actions as well, then this thing would not stop. It has to stop. If it did not stop, then we'll continue to have to have problems.
For Ahmed Fatih, consequences must have punishments. And these punishments must be leveled upon banks who do not listen to the new policies of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu government.
Yes.
And you can virtually and vividly hear Morgan say yes, obviously, and I agree with the thoughts of Ahmed Fatih. Sometimes in the studio today, they've supported the same motions, and on different opinions, they've also had divergent views. But I think that is what the roundtable is all about. We come to the table to discuss, to have various views, and together forge opinions and paths that will favor Nigerians. It is the roundtable. Thank you very much for being a part of this fantastic edition. We will definitely be on your way. Will definitely be on your screens next week Thursday as well. But one question to my guest: renewed hope. Are we on the right track? Are we on the right path? Yes or no? So far, the last 15, 14 days.
It's slow.
Yes or no? Are we on the path to renewed hope that President Tinubu promised us? Does it look like we're on the path?
Yes.
It looks like we're on the path.
Yes.
Amid Fatih, are we on the path? Does it look like we're on the path? As of today, we don't know for tomorrow. Are we on the path to renewed hope?
Well,
yes or no? Yes or no?
To be sincere with you.
Polar question. Yes or no?
To be sincere with you.
Don't be sincere. Yes or no?
I will not say yes. We are in the.
So you are saying no?
What's it called? We are.
This man should be a politician, not a journalist. Thank you very much for being a part of this beautiful and wonderful show. The Roundtable will be back same time next week Thursday. To all the guys that have been doing a fantastic job off camera, I say very big thank you. To all our viewers, we are here because of you. Join us same time next week. God bless you.
The name of the candidate of your choice, because you are Victor Famefuna, how do you vote?
Though my heart is with Right Honorables Uwase and Jaji, my vote goes to TJ Abbas.
Your vote. Order, please. Order, please. I advise us to keep it simple so that we. No, they are saying it. Members elect. You vote.
Though my heart is with Right Honorables Uwase and Jaji, my vote goes to TJ Abbas.
Your vote.
Average Nigeria, they are groaning in poverty.
His admission was the worst so far.
He's the most person that disobey law.
And we are still dealing with the same party.